the Pacific Northwest is the Simulation Football League here. And we have a good one for you folks. This is the Sin City Samurai against the Washington Trident. I'm your play-by-play commentator, Ramos Lynn. And alongside me in the booth is somebody who I missed for years here, is Mr. Shabazz Synergy. Steven, how are you today, my friend?
Wonderful, Ramos, and to have an opportunity to be here with you and in Washington here, get this game on. Two teams struggling to kind of find their identity here early in the season. One of them looking to turn things around, possibly, if in the case of Sin City, get their first win on the young season. A lot of storylines to follow in this game. This one should be absolutely action-packed. Can't wait to get it on here at Mount Olympus Stadium.
We talk about two franchises, Steven. Washington Trident last season, a game away from reaching the championship game. And Sin City, they were the Canton Classics who reached the championship 2 seasons in a row, back in season 22 and season 23, not too long ago. However, Sin City off to an 0-3 start, Washington off to a 1-2 start. I don't think this is a record that reflects both teams accurately. I think they're better than what the record shows. And let's see who comes away with a victory, because both of them start to feel a little bit of the pressure of having to win a game.
And let's not forget this. This is a West Divisional matchup. So this is, these two teams should know each other very well. Those usually turn out to be very competitive games, regardless of the records.
Carl Patterson is the starting quarterback for Sin City. One of many players who still carry on from the Canton Classics. Split backs formations, 2 receivers. And it's going to be a handoff to Logan Lee. Logan Lee with a gain of 3 yards. And let's introduce you to the Sin City offense. Patterson is a quarterback, halfbacks are Hubba Kimbrell, Robert Johnson, and Logan Lee. That's a stacked group with Chevy Monte Carlo as fullback. Receivers, Elliot Pope, Kenny Hendricks, Aldo Senior, tight ends, Talon Steele, and Talababi. This is a stacked group offensively. And they're going to hand the ball off again, but a good tackle for a loss. Kimbrell loses basically all the yards they gain on first down. 3rd and 8 coming up, Steven.
Yeah, and look, one of the biggest storylines coming into this game is the rushing woes by Sin City. They have 3 great running backs, barely able to get over 100 yards combined through 3 games.
Patterson to throw, throws it short, and a good tackle made. Well, just behind the sticks by Nicholas Warner and Mark Kaufman. And Washington is going to force a 3-and-out.
Yeah, great job by Washington to really hold up, get an early 3-and-out. Defensive stud Nicholas Warner there for the tackle. Leads the team with 40 tackles coming into this game. 8 tackles for loss and an interception. He is absolutely their defensive leader. He's been playing great so far this season.
Belkos on the fair catch. Just protect the sticks, Steven, right? That's the kind of the thing. You put about 4 defenders right there at the sticks. Just rally to the ball, make the tackle before they get to the first down marker. Solid defense there by the Trident. We'll have the ball at the 40-yard line. Good field position. And they're going to hand the ball off in the first snap, and a good run there for Washington. It's going to be Dwayne Sammons with a carry, an 8-yard pickup.
Yeah, and Dwayne Sammons, I think he's just getting stronger as the season's going on. 150 yards so far through the first 3 games, but they're still learning how to use him, and they're committed to doing so, and they want to take advantage of all of his abilities.
Dwayne Sammons, the guy who's going to get, he doesn't get a carry this time, is going to be Christopher Dean for a first down. Dwayne Sammons has been in the league for a few seasons and has been with different organizations, but always pretty strong back.
Yeah, really known for his time when he was with Louisiana. And touted for how much his paycheck is. And they just want to see that paycheck come into results.
Utah to throw, the pass is caught. Right up the seam is Asami Mihata with the first catch of the game for Washington and the first down of the game.
Yeah, Mihata, nice big tight end, able to just going on a go route there, Ramos, and absolutely wide open in the middle of the zone there. Perfect placement, little basket catch there. Good throw by Tommy Utah. Both of these quarterbacks have come into this game struggling a bit with interceptions here. Staying clean probably comes back to staying clean in the pocket. So good job there by the offensive line to give Tommy Utah time to get rid of that throw.
First down and 10 from just the outskirts of field goal range is Washington. They're going to throw the ball again. Utah with time, passes middle, the pass is incomplete. Looks like Terrell Cooper was the intended receiver, and the defender overplayed that a little bit, Steven. Looked like Terrell Cooper was pretty open in the middle, just an errant throw.
Yeah, but you could also see that the pass was just a bit of I think the flash of the defender in front of the wide receiver affected the receiver's ability to bring that ball in, but not a great pass as well.
Second down and 10, man in motion. Utah to throw, Utah under pressure and goes down, completely unblocked off the edge. That was number 75, Gary Burney, tackle for a loss and the sack for the big man. And now it's 3rd and long.
Yeah, big man coming around the corner like a Mack truck. And, you know, there's an offensive lineman that tried to maybe get around to pick him up, just didn't have the time as that defender was just bearing down on the quarterback.
Washington with a 3rd and very long, again, outside of field goal range. Want to at least get about half of this to try to put some points on the board. Utah to throw. Utah with time. Now scrambles, tries to get closer to the 30-yard line to at least put them in field goal position, but a great job by Josh Durr on that one. It looked like some kind of quarterback spy, Stevie. Now, as long as Utah decided to run, he was already there.
Utah was just trying to get points, just couldn't get it into James Troll field goal range. They're going to punt it and play the field position game here, Ramos.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a very long field goal, and now this is a punt that reaches the end zone for a touchback. So Sin City with a strong defensive stand after their defense was put in a kind of a rough position. You know, Washington had the ball at their own 40-yard line, and the defense stood tall. Scar Patterson will get back onto the field, I formation. And the man in motion is Al Dilpry. 7 seasons here with the Sin City franchise. Pass is going to be incomplete, running across his body and throwing the ball to Elliott Pope Jr., the second-year man. First season here coming from Nashville, Steven. 2nd down, and this Washington defense looks pretty strong.
Yeah, they started off this game with a 3 and out. Now here, the 2nd and 10. You know, now the question for what is Sin City going to do offensively? They've had their struggles.
Patterson again under pressure. This throw is caught, though, by Talon Steele for a 1st down. Again, right up the seam, right up that hash mark, and a strong catch from the tight end.
Yeah, Talon Steele really has been the shining star of this offense through the first 3 games of the season. Came into this game, 21 catches, 266 yards, and a touchdown, leading the team in receptions as a tight end. So really been Scar Patterson's security blanket, as you can see there. Big catch for conversion. They really needed that.
Trust me, I know how hard it can be as Kimbrell gets the toss and gets about 5 yards. I know how hard it can be to stop Talon Steele. You know, we had to stop him in that championship game, season 23, and he went off for almost 200 yards in that game. It can be a mismatch problem in the middle of the field. He's a huge player, 6'7", 263. A handoff goes to Kimbrell, and Kimbrell gets past the midfield stripe. 1st down, Sin City.
Oh, and this is a good sign, I think, you know, for Sin City. They've really, really struggled to run the football. A lot of people asking about, wow, they've got this a trio of running backs that have been some of the best in the league at times, and they just can't seem to get it going, averaging, you know, less than about 30 to 40 yards a game, which is just not what typical from an offense like this.
Patterson throws incomplete. Yeah, I mean, it's look here in the SFL, it's been proven that almost you don't have enough good backs, Steven. You know, and you will know having yourself a set of good ones. You know, Kevin Say and Harrison and Chuck Steller, and you know, it's you know, the more the merrier. Halfback 10, fullback. 2nd down and 10, I formation. Patterson to throw. Patterson with time. The pass is caught by Al Dilapre with one hand. A 13-yard pickup and a first down for the Samurai.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice job there. Look, and just a lot of patience there in the pocket by Scar Patterson, but laying that ball out between two defenders, boy, that is a tough, not only a tough pass to make, it's a really tight window, but what a tough catch knowing that you're going to get that contact. Great job.
Now Sin City having a really good drive themselves. Patterson pump fakes and now goes down. He tried to pump fake, look for something to get open, was looking at the linebacker area and just didn't see the oncoming traffic. Absolutely crushed off his blind side, Steven.
Yeah, McNeely able to come around and get Scar Patterson. How many times, Ramos, have we seen that pump fake? And when he pumps it back, brings the ball back down, that's when the defense is right on top of him.
Patterson to throw. Patterson checks it down. That's going to be Logan Lee. Getting it to about the 32-yard line. Third down and 9 yards to go. Last week for Sin City, they were able to put 20 points on the board. Wasn't enough to beat the Lexington Miners. The first couple of games, only 7 points on both games. Uncharacteristic for this Samurai team. Again, it has players that have championship experience. As the pass is going to be caught, and this is more of the offense that we are used to see from Scar Patterson and company, both with a catch and a first down.
Yeah, they really do. They've really committed to passing the ball here through the first 3 games of the season. Unfortunately, that hasn't translated to wins for them as of yet. But if you've got guys like Popes making plays like that, where it looks like he's clearly covered, able to find just the smallest opening, giving quarterback just the smallest window to deliver the ball to, able to bring it away. And that's a huge play for them to get in the end zone. Red zone, excuse me. Last place in the league, though, for almost Sin City when it comes to red zone percentage. Let's see if they can actually cash it in here.
It's going to be from the 10-yard line, shotgun formation, and 2 backs in the backfield. Scar Patterson to throw. Patterson checks it down and incomplete, just off the shoulder pad of Logan Lee. Second and goal upcoming. And for Washington, they did get a win against Houston in convention weekend. And ever since, it's been a couple of L's, albeit against 2 championship contenders, Albuquerque and DC. Shotgun formation, again, 2 backs in the backfield. Patterson slings it, middle of the field. That's going to be Dillapre with the catch. They're going to put the ball about the 4-yard line, Steven, and this is a tricky situation. And you know, as an offensive coordinator, ball at the 4 is maybe, well, it's actually, they're going to roll it at the 2.
Yeah, a lot closer. Yeah, favorable spot. And yeah, this is where you need that running game, and they've had their issues, but this is a good opportunity here to get on the board.
The running game actually opens up with the ball at the 2-yard line. Handoff, and Logan Lee is in for a touchdown. Sin City, they will score. The away team scores first, and after Washington was right there in the outskirts of field goal range, they have to punt, and Sin City takes the ball 80 yards for score.
You know, through the first 3 games of the season, it just seemed like Sin City was struggling to find balance. But look, I think they achieved it on that series. It was a nice combination of run and pass. Started to get a little pass heavy towards the end of the series, but then to cap it off with a run that gets in the end zone. Only their 2nd rushing touchdown of the season so far, Ramos. That's a good sign for them early.
A very good one against this Washington Trident team that, you know, has had a strong defense. Had a strong defense last season. Basically, they kept the same talent for this season. Last week, they lost against DC only by 6 points. It was 23-17. They did lose against Albuquerque. Looks like everybody loses against Albuquerque.
Yeah, everybody loses against Albuquerque at home.
Yeah, no shame struggling there against the Adams. And they were very good against the Houston Headhunter team. That is 2-1 so far this season. That's their only loss. So, again, that's what I'm saying. You know, this is a couple of teams that I think are better than the record indicates. And Sin City makes proof of that offensively on the last drive. And now it's Washington's offense time, Steven. Only 27 yards so far here in the first.
Yeah, still early going. Plus, you mentioned home cooking. This is only their 2nd home game. They won their first home game back in week 1 against Houston. So they've been on the road against 2 tough teams and 2 tough losses. Now they're back home cooking, down 7 against Sin City. Not ideal, but still early goings.
Split backs formation. Utah scrambles and rolls out into a sack. Just ran into the oncoming traffic. Another sack, second of the game.
Yeah, and Bernie's feeling it, man, but he lined up far outside. It's almost as if they knew what play was coming, and he was looking for that rollout. I tell you what, that one thing they weren't looking for. They weren't looking for Bernie, that big old guy to come running around the corner, absolutely nailed the quarterback. I don't know how he's still standing, Ramos.
Yeah, I don't know how many times you see a defensive end just come off the edge like that. It looked like he was kind of that Tech 9 position in which he just goes like too far outside. They were prepared for that. Utah to throw. Utah passes across the sticks, and the pass is caught by Kaufman for a first down.
Yeah, and Kaufman has been the star of this offense passing game here so far this season. 17 receptions, 218 yards, and 2 touchdowns so far. But yeah, old number 80 has become a very reliable target in situations like that, where you're coming off a sack. Some of the quarterbacks, they start seeing ghosts out there, start throwing the ball too early. But no, Tommy Utah just settled in, found his favorite target, and converted it.
Utah to throw a good check down right there to Mahada, right there on the quick stick route for a gain of about 9 yards. And in the positive side, Washington, number 2 in the SFL, Steven, 265 passing yards a game.
Yeah, and it shows you why there, and don't discount the running game. Again, I still think they're getting Dwayne Salmon accustomed to this new team.
Yeah, and speaking of, as Dwayne Salmon's on the carry, Mike All is having none of that though. He's going to be stopped just shy of the first down marker, and it's going to be 3rd and 1. But I will give it a game to one of my backs. Probably give it to Christopher Dean this time.
Yeah, I mean, I think both of these teams have really good running backs in the backfield.
The handoff and the first down is Chi right there on that play. That's number 34, actually. Harold Morrow, the fullback. They move the chains.
Everybody getting a little love. Everybody getting some carries here in this game.
Utah to throw, good blitz pickup, and the pass is going to be intercepted off deflection. And here goes the Sin City Samurai returning the ball. Lacey on the pick. And what a way to almost cap off this first quarter of play, Steven, as the Samurai force a takeaway.
Yeah, and I think that Washington, they just went a little bit too much to that tight end, that little quick tight end pass that we've seen to go to Mahada over and over again. This time it gets tipped up in the air, and a nice job by Lacey to pick it out of the air. A freebie, he snatched it, and now gives his team an opportunity to go up more than just a score, more than just 7.
With 7 seconds left in the first quarter, the Samurai get their first takeaway of the game. Split backs formation for Patterson and company. It'll be a handoff and nothing doing on that one. It'll be a no gain on the play, and that's the end of the first quarter. Trident, nothing. Sin City 7. You're watching the Simulation Football League here on the Virtual Football Network. Steven Molinax, Ramos Lynn here in the booth. And this is basically what we were kind of anticipating, Steven, like a close game, a tight game, and a good one at that. Some good plays on offense, some good plays on defense.
And I really like what I'm seeing from Sin City, starting to see that balanced offense come back into focus.
Patterson to throw. Patterson running out of time, but connects again with Al Delapre. And Scar Patterson, Steven, has been under pressure for the most part here in the first half, but he's been able to connect most of times.
And look, if Scar Patterson was a little shaky, it would be understandable coming into this game. 10 sacks in 3 games. His offensive line has done him no favors, although they haven't been relying on the running game as much. That has a part of it to do as well. But Scar is battle tested, absolutely. He's got the scars, but he's battle hardened out there and able to deliver a great pass.
He's going to be blown up in the backfield. Logan Lee, a loss of 1. And yeah, it looked after the first week, Steven, I think they allowed, if I remember correctly, about 8 or 9 sacks against Denver. It just looks like they just went back to the drawing board, and the offensive line has been improved since then. But right now Washington is getting the better of them, and Scar Patterson is answering the call. This time clean pocket for Patterson, throws, and the pass is incomplete as Talon still gets a shot in the rib cage. 3rd down and 11 yards to go, again outside of field goal range, and Washington's defense is holding strong here on this set of downs.
I love Kappa Jones out there, the free safety. The guy's played linebacker before in this league, and you can see why. What a hit he put on the receiver.
Patterson to throw. Patterson has to scramble again. Tries to get some yardage, but not getting much.
Wow.
His car just about a 3-yard pickup, and Sin City will have to punt this football again.
Ironically, the second time we've seen a quarterback in this game try to scramble to get into field goal range and just not make it. Just doesn't quite have the wheels or the blocking in front of them to do it. But they're trying their best out there. But nobody open. Great coverage play there by Washington.
He's not a great pun, getting fair caught at the 19-yard line. So, well, inside the 20 is always good. Bill Koss has that fair catch. 8:34 left here in the second quarter. Sin City 7, Washington nothing. If you're just joining us, Sin City with a takeaway defensively. Washington trying to find their footing offensively. Let's see what they can do here on this drive. Split backs formation and 3 receivers as Kaufman goes in motion. Sin City showing a blitz. Sin City will come with the blitz. Utah with time. The pass is going to be caught. Mahada all the way to the 41-yard line. That was great blitz pickup by the offensive line, Steven.
Yeah, and look, not afraid to go right back to Mahada again. That pick that happened on the last series. Just have a short memory. Don't even worry about that. Go right back to your big target. Big man comes away. And look, at points, he's running wide open there, Ramos, too. Like, I'm not sure what's going on in coverage back there, but the big man he's not hard to spot. He's a big guy. Looks like an offensive lineman out there.
That's true. As Christopher Dean, speaking about big people, gets about 1 on the play. Good stop made by the Sin City defense. I mean, what happened there is that they basically blitz, or they came with 6 on the pressure, so you only have 5 people on the back end. But yeah, Mahada, you cannot leave that person wide open, that player wide open, just straight in the middle of the field. Utah to throw, clean pocket. Utah with time, the pass deep, and the pass is incomplete. Well played on the outside by Terrence Pearson. Great technique, Steven, kind of squishing the offensive player outside to the sideline.
Yeah, using the sideline as the second defender. It's one-on-one. It's kind of what you want there if you're a quarterback, one-on-one coverage deep. But look, Tommy Utah had plenty of other options. He just was really focused on trying to get Terrell to Cooper the ball, wanted to make that big play.
Empty set from the 43, Utah with time. Scrambles, throws deep, the pass incomplete. Again, tight coverage across the board as Phil Koss was the intended receiver, and the Samurai defense does it again. Another stop as Washington will be forced to punt.
Yeah, Tommy Utah had all the time in the world to find the receiver, just couldn't get anyone. Nobody can get open for him. Even extended outside the pocket a bit, just try to extend that time. But just a great defensive lockdown. And these defenses are coming to play right now. They've locked down both sides of this here. These defenses have played well.
And a return, and a good one at that, getting past the 20-yard line into the 25. And then Elliott Pope Jr., the return specialist, as Kevin Lewis is down. The special team linebacker. There's nothing serious.
One aspect that we haven't talked about so far in this game, with Sin City being in the lead, it's not really hurt them at all, but they do have one of their 3 star wide receivers here that out because of being inactive. So that's going to really focus, I think, the passing game on guys like Al Delapre and Talon Steele, guys that we've seen, Elliott Pope as well getting involved. These guys are going to need to step up.
Patterson with a clean pocket, throws, the pass is caught by Talon Steele. What a catch again by Talon Steele. It's been about the 2nd or 3rd time in which he's come up with catches in double coverage.
Yeah, and look, that's between 2 defenders, and that's a play where the quarterback threw the ball before he really broke on the route. That's absolute trust in your receiver, in that case, your tight end, to be at that spot. And the other part of it is bringing it in despite the other 2 defenders being in that same spot.
This run is not going to be a successful one as Nicholas Warner is on the tackle. No gain on the play. Sin City have to go in a 2nd down and 10 yards to go. And their running has been hit or miss for both teams so far, Stephen. I mean, when it has worked, it's only worked for a handful of yards, not much more than that. Hand off again. Lee just maybe about half a yard. Nothing doing there. And a 3rd and long upcoming here for Sin City. I mean, it just looks, Steven, that both games, I mean, for both teams, is going to be decided by the arms of Scar Patterson and Tommy Utah.
Yeah, and that's in part because of the linebacker core they have here in Washington. It's one of the best in the league.
Patterson trying to scramble and stepping up and getting crushed after only 2 yards. Again, the Washington, both defenses really have been awesome on 3rd down, stopping that quarterback scramble.
Well, let me tell you what, since he looked fairly good running the ball here, as compared to the other weeks, but when you're going up against the linebacker core, it's Nicholas Warner, Nathaniel Diggs, and TJ Harper, it's going to be a long day. I don't care who you are. And they're finding out now, they're flexing their muscles a bit here as we're seeing those linebackers' names getting called more and more often. So it's going to be a tough sled no matter what because of that core, but you've got to commit to it. You've got to try to equal things out, especially when you get in that red zone. You got to be able to run the football. So important to do so.
Totally agree. Twin set here, bottom of the screen for Washington. Fullbacks in the backfield. It's going to be a handoff. That is to Dwayne Salmons. And again, nothing doing on that one. A loss of 1 yard as 2 Sin City defenders, including number 42, Zach Benjamin, are on the stop. 2nd down and 11. 4-3 defense showing for Sin City. Utah to throw. Utah checks it down. That's going to be Terrell Cooper with a gain of about 4 yards. 3rd down and 6 upcoming.
I'm not mad at it either. You want to get Cooper going a bit. Try to get to him earlier. Let's do something. Let's put something in the game plan here. Just get him a little quick pass. Make this a more manageable 3rd down. Open up the playbook a bit.
Going to be 3rd down and 6. Man in motion. That's going to be Kaufman. Moving from left to right in the formation. The slot receiver. Sin City will come with a blitz. The pressure comes in, but Kaufman gets the catch for a 1st down. Good quick decision by Tommy Utah on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. That's all about quarterback awareness, right? Seeing the pressure coming in and getting the ball out to his receiver. Wow, those 2 receivers, that was kind of a rub route right there. And but I think it kind of hurt them because they hit each other. Number 80 there, Kaufman, able to get out of that, maybe rung his bell a little bit, able to get her head around in order to find the ball right in his hands. So nice job by Utah getting that ball out quick.
Ball at the 37-yard line. Another split backs formation. Incoming with the pressure. Dwayne Salmons goes nowhere. No gain on the play. On the tackle is number 48, Kanye Rockefeller, the 20-season veteran.
Long time. I got socks in my sock drawers that are 20 years old. But that's a long time. Man. They got a lot of holes.
Yes, it is. Utah to throw. Oh, what a great throw. That's the best throw we've seen all night, I think, Steven. In between the 2 defenders, that's that's probably the hardest throw to make as a quarterback.
Yeah, I've commentated 2 games today. That might be the best throw in the 2 games that I've seen. That was an absolute dot. And I've said this before. There's no defense. I don't care how good you are for the perfect pass. That's the very definition right there. I don't know how you squeezed that into that window.
Tommy Utah getting it done right there. He will drop back to throw with time. The pass middle again. Asami Mahata with a 1st down all the way to the 28-yard line. And Asami Mahata has been the deep threat receiver for Washington so far in this game.
Look, Mahata, we need to start putting Mahata's name in some of these top elite tight ends here in the SFL. The Polly Truce, the Lauren Prococos, right? Not Mike Daggs. That level of players, right? Like Mahata here is really showing out and has been just an effective weapon for this offense. Terrific so far tonight.
It's a franchise that has had a couple of good tight ends back. Phil Koss obviously was a tight end back then, and Phil Koss was awesome. He was a great tight end. We made the move to receiver. He's been a good receiver ever since. And Salmons gets the handoff, and at this point, man, a 2-yard gain on a carry looks like a pretty good play. As both run defenses have been very, very stout.
Yeah, and it's an investment. The running game is an investment. You may not swing it out of the park with the first one, but you're going to tire this defense out eventually.
And off to Salmons. Finds the opening this time. The Salmons will get about 6 yards. So finally, I mean, to your point, it's an investment. And eventually, longer carries. The offensive line is going to open up some holes.
And that's what we've seen from Salmons all season long, right? Maybe throughout his career, just flashes of really good to greatness. We just want to see it on a more consistent basis.
Handoff on the sweep play, and this one is not developing fast enough. That's going to be the fullback again, and he's unable to get anything, Steven. 4th down and 2. I guess you have to take the points right after this 2-minute warning. Sin City 7. Sorry, Steven. Sin City 7. As they lead the Washington Trident. Go ahead, Steven.
Oh, I just was saying, I was going to say, the offensive call, I think, just did him no favors. It took so long for that to develop, and the blocking wasn't there.
You have to come away with some points here as this kick works right, and it's good. 7-3. Sin City up. Washington able to put some points on the board. The defenses look strong. Both defenses have looked strong. The Washington defense have looked better. And again, like the first quarter, it's a very tight second quarter. And points out of the premium today.
Yeah, and look, I think it's a tale of 2 quarters so far. We've seen the Sin City really come out of the gate looking really good, really balanced, and then they've gotten stifled, and now Washington starting to come alive here in the second quarter, actually getting to put some points on the board. So, it's starting to heat up here, but it is definitely a back and forth. I don't think you'd expect anything different from a divisional battle.
Yeah, absolutely, especially again from 2 teams that are desperately looking for a win here before we get to the middle portion of season 25. It's been a season with a few teams that have risen to the occasion and are looking very, very good, and a few others that have been surprisingly struggling for part of this season. As Logan Lee gets 5 on the play, and I don't know how aggressive Sin City is going to be here on the 2-minute drill, Steven.
Yeah, and the 2nd and 5 makes it, they can still run. They've still got 3 timeouts. They've still got a lot of time here. So I think the playbook is still pretty wide open for them. There is no sense of urgency for sure.
Yeah, that's true. Philippi goes in motion. 2nd and 5. Gonna toss it out to Hubert Kimbrough, and Kimbrough will get some space, 1st down. Sin City, but again, to your point, not a lot of urgency. Just look, they want to get to the half with a 4-point lead.
Feels like if they can pop off a big play, they'll take it. Otherwise, they're going to play pretty conservative here. They've got the lead. They're in a prime position at the moment. I like the motion though out of that last play to make that wide open rushing lane there.
Matterson throws, and the pass is incomplete, thrown into double coverage. I mean, they may want to just take it to the half here.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Just got to be careful. 6 interceptions by Scar Patterson in 3 games, and you just can't allow this team, Washington team, to get on here and put 6 points. I mean, or any points really on the board here before the end of the first half.
Patterson will throw again though, goes deep, and the pass is caught by Steele. Both tight ends, Steven, have been awesome on the deep routes. Both of them, especially on that seam route. Talon Steele gets the ball close to scoring position.
Yeah, I mean, it's been these 2 tight ends on either side of the ball for each team have been absolutely tremendous tonight. Spotlight players for sure, early MVP candidates.
And in motion. Make it a 1-by-1 set. It's Elliot Pope Jr. Midbacks formation. Patterson to throw. Patterson goes outside, and the pass is caught. A great throw just over the hands of the defender. A 1st down, Sin City, and they're again in scoring range.
Yeah, and still no real sense of. I mean, there is. I mean, they've called a timeout, obviously, but it just feels very comfortable. They're not pressed. They're not pushing it. T.J. Harper almost came away with that one though. That can be dangerous.
Steele in motion. Making a twin set bottom of the screen. Patterson to throw. Patterson checks it down to his tight end, and Talon Steele trying to get out of bounds, will not. 31 seconds, Sin City will have to call their last timeout.
Yeah, I like it. You know, it's a little out route there to your most secure target of the game so far, and Talon Steele hoping that the big man, even with the two defenders on him, he's so big and so strong, he thinks he might still be able to get out of bounds and save us a timeout.
Washington showing some man-to-man coverage here. Expecting a pass. Patterson to throw, checks it down. That's good, but a great tackle in the open field by Ward, Steve. 24 seconds left and counting. 20 seconds left. Patterson to throw. Patterson goes outside. The pass is caught. Dillon breaks the tackle, and he's in a touchdown. So all in all, a great 2-minute drive here for the Samurai. And just as we thought this game was going to go 7-3 into halftime, Sin City takes a 2-score lead.
This is absolutely huge, right? They started this series nonchalantly running the ball. We thought they were almost kind of like wanting to run the ball out, but a big play by Talon Steele to get them in near field goal range, and then some more consistent plays trying to get out of bounds. We saw what they were trying to do, right? Trying to save up that clock, but a great individual play by Delapre. Actually, I thought he might have got in with that first initial catch, but able to shake off the tackle, and then we're not going to leave this to the referees at all. We're going to go ahead and just score. Delapre able to break the tackle and get in the end zone. Great individual effort right there.
Skylar Patterson having a game, 13 of 18, approaching 200 yards, a touchdown and no picks, a QBR over 120 points. It's really been the difference so far in this game as this return by Phil Cross will get to about the 27-yard line or so, only 10 seconds left here in the first half. And I think for Washington, it's kind of the same. You maybe just run it here on first down, try to see if you can get a big play, and if not, take it to the half.
I'd like to go back to the point you made about, Scar Patterson having such a great game. Let's not forget this Washington defense comes into this game with the #2 passing defense in the league, #2 in passing yards allowed. So this is what Scar's doing. It's something that nobody else in the league has been doing against this Washington defense. What a hit.
What a truck right there by Dwayne Salmons, gaining about 4 yards on the play. And that was the last play of the first half. Steven, 14-3 Sin City over Washington. Just want to hear your thoughts of the first half and which players have stood out. For me, I think has been precisely Scar Patterson, but there are a couple of players defensively who've been very strong.
Yeah, for me, obviously, if you're Sin City, you're elated, right? You're coming into the house of Washington, a team that went 10-2 last season, made it into the playoffs, one game away from the championship game. You're struggling, right? You're 0-3 coming into this season. You desperately need a win. Why not come into the house that Mount Olympus built and get a victory? They've got a good shot at it now, up 14-3 at halftime. For me, if I'm going to point out one particular player outside of these wonderful tight ends and some of these great quarterback plays, give me Gary Burney, and 2 sacks. Big fella coming around the edge and made a tremendous impact. Love to see it.
Yeah, both plays have been huge hits on the quarterback. Sal Delapre Sr. is also a strong contender for it. 5 catches, 7 yards, and a touchdown. We'll be right back with some more SFL action right here from the Pacific Northwest. And we're back. Thank you very much for joining us here from Olympia, Washington, as the Trident 3 trailing against their Western Division counterparts, Sin City Samurai 14-3. Robert Sling, alongside me in the booth is Stephen Molinax, Wayne Schindler, and Phil Cos in the stats truck. Thank you guys. As this return will get to about the 27, but looks like a face mask probably, Stephen. Yep.
Well, this every little bit helps, right? In Washington, they need to get off the schneid here. Only able to score 3 points there in that first half. Not ideal, especially playing at home. And this is a team, again, that did a good job against a quality Houston team in their house right here in Mount Olympus Stadium just back in week 1. And we're seeing just a very different type of performance so far tonight. Let's see if they can pick things up here in the second half.
Handoff goes to Salmons, breaks a couple of tackles, and somehow finds the room to get 5 yards. It's going to be 2nd down and 5. And, as much as we've talked about the quarterbacks, I did say, probably going to be a quarterback game, and whoever plays better will win it. But, you know, they have to still kind of try to establish a run game, Steven, and not become just one-dimensional.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and they appear to be committed to it if they run here again.
Dean will get suplexed right there by the defense. A 1-yard pickup only. 3rd down and 4. It's manageable though. 3rd down and 4. And this is kind of like a situation where Asami Mihara has been unstoppable at points.
That's true. Yeah, if I was the defense, I'd be keying up on the big fella. Look for the offensive lineman running down the field. That's the guy that I would double cover.
On the split backs formation, Utah to throw. Utah retreats, drops back, the pass deep, the pass is caught, somehow finds the hands of Terrell Cooper running the quick dig, the deep dig route. 1st down, Washington.
I love it. Tommy Utah absolutely puts the dart right in his gut. I love it. Bam. Oh, and a good job by Cooper there, able to get it down by his, looks like near his laces, Ramos, and bring it in. That was a huge play on 3rd down. They needed that. Woo. Good play.
That's a deep dig. It's about an 18-yard dig route. Works well for the Trident. This run for Christopher Dean goes only for a gain of about a couple yards, but you know, getting you ahead of the sticks and still, you know, have Sin City think of the run on any given Steven is very important.
Yeah, and look, it's still early in this game. I know it seems, you know, 11 points in a game where the score is what it is, and points have been hard to come by. Seems like a pretty big lead, but there's a lot of time.
Utah to throw, the pass intended again for Mihara. Right there on that seam route. We're well covered that time. 3rd down and 8. And we've seen a couple of times, even by both teams in that situation. The quarterbacks have scrambled, trying to get to the, you know, field goal range, and unable to do so. But 5 receivers this time. It's going to be a 4-by-1 set effectively as Sutherland goes in there. Utah drops back to throw. Utah throws deep. The pass incomplete. Well covered again. Kanye Rockefeller on the stop. 4th down and 8. And it looks, Steven, like Washington will have to punt it again.
Yeah, I think they will. And good job there. Now, look, both sides of the ball here for Sin City coming to play tonight. Just a great defensive job there. Forcing Washington to punt. Had a decent drive going. Just couldn't convert it there at the end. Not where you want to be, certainly if you're Washington. An opportunity here for Sin City to extend this lead.
As Washington trying to get it. Oh, they actually do get it at the 1-yard line, Steven. So Sin City will be just pinned inside the 1, actually.
Are you serious? I don't know. They're going to challenge this? No, wow. I swore he caught it in the end zone, but man, we didn't get a second look at that. That's a tremendous special teams play.
Unbelievable play and a chance for Washington to try to get a safety handoff. Trying to get outside and does just barely. Harper, TJ Harper laying the kaboom on that one. 2nd and 10. This is dangerous territory for the Samurai.
Gotta be one of your worst nightmares to have old 99 bearing down on you, knowing that there's a safety. There's 2 points on the line there. Good night.
2nd and 10. Handoff, trying to get out and doesn't. Safety. Washington gets points on defense, and this could be a turning point in the game, Steven. How many times we see a defensive score, whether it's a pick 6, a scoop and score, a safety, kind of being the turning point of the ball game. 14-5, but Washington will get the ball back with some momentum.
Well, I think it makes perfect sense. You needed a spark if you were Washington somewhere, and you got it from maybe one of the more unlikely places, special teams. Able to pin it down essentially at the 1-inch mark, it felt like. And then now getting a safety. I mean, all the momentum has suddenly come back home. And this crowd, you can hear it, has come alive. They've seemed silent all game long. They haven't been a factor. Now all of a sudden, they're getting that week 1 feeling again.
Joel Carlson now returned to the 48-yard line. Yeah, you're right. It just feels like this Washington team has a little bit of juice all of a sudden. Handoff to Salmons, gets a little bit of a hole, gets 4 yards on the play. It's been a minute, and I hope we haven't forgotten. It's super simple to just smash the like button and help the channel out. You just cross the 8,500 subscriber mark. So subscribe if you have not, and you'll never miss a live stream, highlight, or podcast. Thanks for your support of the Virtual Football Network and the SFL as Kaufman goes in motion left to connects wing back. And off goes to Salmons actually on the sweep play, getting about 4 yards, 32.
Yeah, and this is, they're so committed to running the ball here in Washington. It's like you can almost call first and second down. They're going to run it. They want to. But it puts the onus a lot of times on these third down conversions. And a 3rd and 2 like this, it may be another run here.
Going to be another run right up the gut. That's going to be a down. Morrow with the carry. And they're trying to move the chains. You also have to think about the... Sorry, Steven. You also have to think about the fatigue standpoint here. The Sin City defense has been on the field for a whole lot here in the third.
Absolutely right.
The Samurai showing pressure, showing a 6-man rush. Let's see if they come with it. They don't. They actually back off some defenders. Utah to throw. Utah deep. Assignment again with a catch all the way to the 20-yard line, and the Trident offense picking that.
I mean, and we saw it in the first half, and it yet continues again. Mahada, these tight ends, they are going to work in this game. Look, and this. Is he doing any fancy moves out there? Is he using his agility to get open? No, he's doing post routes. He's going to 9. He's going straight out there, and he's somehow finding the gaps into these zones and being just a nice, huge target for Tommy Utah. Man, he's played great tonight.
And it's been time and time again. 5 catches, 85 yards. Utah down, position by Tommy Utah. He just checks it down to Mahada again. So now acting as a swing back, so 6 yards.
Hey, put the big fella, go ahead and start him at center, go ahead and put him at fullback, put him running back, maybe put him at quarterback someplace. Let's get this kid the ball because he's doing good things when the ball's in his hands.
When he's been the best player so far of your offense, as this carry will go for the game. When he's been the best player on offense, just get him involved in every which way you can. It's kind of the name of the game at that point.
I think for both of these teams, I think for both these teams, it's been a little bit of a case of 1 step forward, 2 steps back, make a great play, and then they get stopped in the backfield.
Absolutely, from the 15-yard line, split backs, Utah to throw with time, throws deep into the end zone. The pass is incomplete. Mahada dropped it back of the end zone. That was Washington's opportunity. That was a great throw by Tommy Utah. Great job extending the play.
Yeah, and Mahada actually had to slow up a little bit to try to just get his feet in the end zone. Maybe not the most agile creature in the world to do that, but I'm sure he's kicking himself. He's brought in everything that's been imaginable around him, and I'm sure he's kicking himself for not bringing that in.
Missed opportunity there for Washington then. And this field goal is going to go drift wide right, and it's no good.
Wow.
So worst case scenario here for the Trident over the last couple of plays. That is crushing for the Trident.
Yeah, James Trolls misses that one. Goodness gracious. And look, I think we're just so accustomed to those going in, we don't think twice about it, Ramos. Those are gimmies, right? Absolutely not. And boy, that could be one we look back in this game, and we think that could be the play that made the difference right there. Wow.
It stays a 2-possession game crucially. It's a 9-point game between Samurai and Trident. Handoff, Logan Lee. Logan Lee lowers the shoulder, gets 8 on the play, 2nd and 2.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago, Ramos, when Logan Lee was smashing the league and killing it. You throw in, Kimball, you throw in Robert Johnson. You think this is going to be an unstoppable trio. It's been anything but a good run there.
Yeah, good run there to make it a 2nd and short. Kimball gets the handoff, and this is more of the rushing attack that we were expecting. Guys, 6 and a 1st down.
And again, it could be part of, just a commitment to the running game, starting to tire out one defense, maybe doing it to the other defense as well. Now we're starting to see running backs fall forward and get 5 or 6 yards.
Toss play to Lee, gets a block and gets about 2 yards. But yeah, man, those are players that are like, for a defensive coordinator, they're caffeine because they keep you awake all night. I mean, I remember, yeah, I remember when we had to play in the championship against Cannon Lee. Man, it was sleepless nights just trying to see how we are gonna stop 41. And at that moment, Robert Johnson as well as Talon Steele, and again the tight end party continues as Talon Steele gets the catch right up the seam.
You talk about running backs keeping you away and not as defensive coordinator. These defensive coordinators here in these two teams, they're going to be dreaming and having nightmares about tight ends
Yeah,
for the
that's
rest
true.
of the week, because these tight ends have been absolutely gashing them mainly in the middle, and they're not doing necessarily anything fancy. They're just saying, like drawing sand to the dirt. Hey, just get open.
Delivery in motion. These tight ends have combined for 11 grabs and almost 200 yards of offense. So about half the yardage that we've had in this game have been tight ends. Patterson, pump fakes. Patterson with time, throws. Talon Steele drops it. So it was a Sami Mahara dropping the touchdown, and then Talon's first down on back-to-back tries.
Yeah, the big fella comes back to the huddle. You're like, okay, just forget that. That was first down. If that's going to happen to Talon Steele, let it happen on a first down. And so we've got plenty of more chances afterwards. But a nice job there of the pump fake, despite the defender being at his feet, Scar Patterson delivering an accurate ball. I think Talon Steele just lost it in the lights.
1-by-1 set, split backs formation on 2nd and 10. Handoff to Logan Lee. He pushes a defender, that's Harper, actually carries him for a 5-yard gain, 3rd and 5.
Yeah, a lot of the yardage from these running backs in this particular series here, they have them just being tackled and then their forward momentum getting them those 4 or 5 yards, almost like rolling to get more yardage there.
3rd down, 5 yards to go. Patterson throws the slant and the pass is caught to the 38-yard line. 1st down, Samurai.
I hope we get to see a replay of that. We're not going to, but man, what a stutter step that Delapree ran that route with. I mean, he just absolutely faked the defender out of his shorts to get that open for his quarterback.
Patterson to throw. Patterson throws deep. The pass intended for Al Delapree. He kind of stays floating in the same spot and falls harmlessly to the turf for Sin City. 2nd and 10 upcoming.
Yeah, the ball placement there really hung his receiver Delapree out to dry. Like it was going to have to be a catch under extreme duress as DeSantis was ready like a rocket to nail him.
Rolling to the left. Patterson throws the pass, incomplete. Great coverage again. That's Ryan Cook with the deflection. 3rd and 10.
Well, the one-on-one coverage you want as the quarterback. Throwing opposite, though, your opposite shoulder, throwing across the field. I don't know about you, Ramos, but for me, I always take a breath when I see one of those passes, because I've seen those go for pick sixes too many times.
Yes, absolutely. Throwing the ball across your body is generally not a great idea. Patterson to throw deep. The pass is incomplete. Cook again with the coverage. And I don't know. I don't think this is field goal range, Steven. I think Sin City will have to punt it again.
Yeah, and a great job by Washington to hold them off, and getting, looks like what it's going to be a punt here. Get the ball back into your offense's hands. And this is kind of what we've seen. We've seen sparks of offensive brilliance, and then suddenly these defenses just absolutely shut everything down.
Taking the ball high. It's going to bounce at the 21. Doesn't get a great bounce, but does roll out of bounds at the 14-yard line. So at least inside the 15 is positive for Sin City. And another chance here for Washington, Steven. It's a 9-point game, so touchdown and a field goal will win it. The defense have played strong offensively. They just need to get the ball in the end zone.
Yeah, and they just haven't been able to do that all night, which just, you think being here at home, it'd be a little bit easier.
Sammons on the carry, gets 3. Make it a 2nd down and 7. Dwayne Sammons, so far in this game, still under 40 yards of rushing, averaging about 3 yards per carry. Christopher Dean only has 4 attempts so far. They're going to do the draw play, and that doesn't work either, as Joshua Dirk coming completely unblocked off the edge. Maybe half a yard, and another 3rd and relatively long, Steven, 3rd and 6.
You know what I'm seeing, Ramos, just as an offensive coordinator, as I'm watching them, these run plays take a long time to develop. And by the time the running back has the ball, it feels like the defense has enough time to get in position.
Utah drops back to throw. Utah throws deep. Mahada has been the man so far. To the 37-yard line, first down, Trident.
I mean, Hakuna Mahada, right? I mean, every time everything is going downhill, just look for old number 43, and everything's going to be all right. I mean, it's just incredible all night tonight. This guy has been an absolute beast, and I think even starting to outshine Talon Steele after still had that drop a little bit earlier. So already over the century mark for Mahada, been the real bright spot here for this offense.
Tommy Utah has completed 12 passes, 7 of them to Asami Mihara. Running the ball, it's Christopher Dean, best run of the game for either team so far. A 12-yard pickup, first down, Trident.
Yeah, and I think that was the one thing we've been missing all game. We haven't had a real big breakout run, and this does just a great job by Dean, really following his blocker, and great blocking to open up the middle of that A-gap, right? And then able to have the vision to sneak around to get past the first down marker.
That was the last play of the third quarter. Sin City 14, Washington 5. You're watching the Simulation Football League right here on the Virtual Football Network. Stephen Molinex, Ramos Lane here in the booth for this Western Divisional matchup between the Trident and the Samurai. There's the Trident with the ball, down 9 points, right there at the midfield stripe. Handoff, Salmons, about 2 on the play, 2nd and 8 coming up. Kanye Rockefeller makes a stop.
We have a scoregami situation here, 14-5.
Yeah.
Not sure if that's ever happened before, but whenever you're throwing a safety into the mix, yeah, that's when all those things kind of come into play, right? Because you just don't see them very often.
Yeah, safety, a 2-point conversion. You know, that's what kind of get wacky. As this is going to be another handoff. That's Salmons on the carry, maybe a couple more, 3rd down and 6. That's another passing situation. I mean, if you're Sin City, I mean, anybody but Asami Mahara at this point, Steven.
And if you're watching, ignore everyone but Mahara.
Pretty much. Been money every time, but this is a five receiver set, looks like. Utah trying to scramble, and again, the Sin City defense is ready for that. Just that just hasn't worked, and with the time left, I don't know, Steven. I think Washington will be forced to punt again.
Yeah, I think so, and that's unfortunate. Good job. Let's call this out. Be sure to call out Jay Mart, able to stay home. Jay Mart just sitting there looking at the quarterback dead in the eye, and as soon as he started running, he just didn't move. He just stood there and waited for the quarterback to come to him, and it was a pretty easy tackle.
It's going to bounce again. Can Washington do it again? Yes, they can.
Wow.
At the 2-yard line, I mean, their best weapon almost has been the punter so far offensively outside of Mahada.
Yeah, and maybe Mahada's on special teams. Who knows? Something's going on in that special teams unit. This is some of the best special team play we've seen all season.
And this team gets to 7 points in the weirdest way possible, Steven. Handoff, Logan Lee trying to get some yardage, gets 3 on the play. As Sin City gets some very, very crucial breathing room here.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And when you're that close to the shadow of your own goal post here, as many yards as you can pick up, even just 3, just gives you, like you mentioned, that breathing room to maybe run a different play than a run. I think they're probably going to run in here, but at least it gives you a little bit, gets you out of that threat of a safety.
Toss play to the outside. That's going to be some decent yardage. Again, good blocking, 3 yards on the play. That's going to be Robert Johnson, of course, on the carry. And you know, the way this defense is placed, and I mean, for Sin City is just getting enough breathing room to at least give your punter enough room, and they've done just that. Split backs formation, passing middle. Who else? Talon Steele with the catch. First down, Samurai.
I wanted to mention that. It's like, oh, here you go on 3rd down. Oh, obviously, you go to Talon Steele. It makes all the sense in the world, and comes out big too. But boy, number 44 there, Nicholas Warner, nearly got a big old paw on it. And Talon Steele paid the price to bring that ball in. But clutch play by the quarterback, great pass, and great catch, and great just ability to hold on to the ball despite the big hit.
Patterson to throw, throws it to Al Dillapre, first down to the 43-yard line. And I think that's been the thing that, you know, Sin City has had that reliable receiver. Now Dillapre outside has been able to get some good yardage, and Washington just really hasn't had that. The leading receiver outside, 3 grabs for 43 yards.
Yeah, it's Scar Patterson. He's having himself a day, as we mentioned there in the first half. 2 touchdowns, looking real solid, 200 yards passing. So he's had a great night so far.
Lee with a handoff gets 3 yards on the play, and every first down that Sin City gets is just a nail in the coffin of Washington, which, you know, still not dead yet. It's only a 9, but you know, the way Sin City is, you know, trying to and starting to drain this clock out. You know, the Trident is already feeling the pressure of the time. Now he still goes in motion. Toss play to the left. That's going to be Robert Johnson. Nothing doing there. Maybe a loss of about half a yard. Diggs on the stop.
And I kind of think, Ramos, this is the biggest third down of the game. Might be the turning point here. If they're able to convert this and possibly get points on the board, that really hurts you if you're Washington. If you're able to get a big stop here, I think it keeps you in the game.
Washington needs to put some pressure. Only 1 sack tonight. Patterson throws it. Pass is caught, but shy of the sticks. Stephen, by maybe about a yard and a half. 4th and 1 officially. I think you have to punt, right? You don't go for it here.
Oh, I love it, though. I love it. But look, it's the placement of the ball. It's a lot closer than I think we thought.
Yes. It's a yard, and they're opening up the A gap, Stephen. Washington gambling for the B gap run. Actually, they do get the B gap run, but it doesn't matter. He converts on the first down, or on the 4th down, makes it first down. What a clutch run right there on the outside for the Samurai.
Well, I think Sin City felt it, right? They felt the need to have to go for it on 4th. They felt that this drive really is going to be pivotal for them sealing this game.
Handoff on the counter. Logan Lee breaks a tackle and then carries a defender for another half a yard. 2nd and 5. 5 minutes left in the 4th quarter. Sin City 14, Washington 5, and it's been, you know, in maybe a different way that we were expecting a little bit. I don't know. It's been a weird contest so far.
Yeah.
We've seen a missed field goal.
Safety. Tremendous special team plays by Washington. Nearly back-to-back plays. They've done it, and the score has been odd. It's been a wild game for sure. This has been an unusual one, but one I think you kind of expect from 2 teams that have come in 1-0-3, 1-2. They've been struggling a little bit, and they've shown that those struggles here, terrific offensively.
They get a single back as Robert Johnson is lined up. This pass is intercepted. What a pick! Running the other way, 50, 40, 35, 30, and stepping out of bounds at the 29-yard line. Interception. That is number 20 for Washington. Mark Kaufman, who's been quiet all game. What a pick.
Yeah, wow. Able to get in front of Talon Still and pick that ball off. Not only that, he actually leaps to get the ball, falls on the ground, able to know that he gets up and nearly runs that in. But look, we're going to go look back at this play, and we're going to think, well, you know what? Scar Patterson threw the interception, but he also influenced the defender to run out of bounds. That could be big because they've struggled to get the ball in the end zone. And that opportunity there, maybe the defender was going to answer it for him.
Utah rolls out to the right, passes, and they throw it back. To your point, Steven, that play and making sure they run him out of bounds makes all the difference as Sin City takes that one back.
Yeah, absolutely. Great play there. That Pearson actually with the pick there, I believe. And like I was saying, if the defender could only get in the end zone, because this offense has struggled tonight, not able to hit pay dirt once outside of a field goal and a safety. So if that number 20 there on Washington's defense is able to run it in, this is a whole new ball game. Instead, back-to-back picks.
This is crushing for Washington on that one. I mean, again, even if you get a field goal out of that, Steven, I mean, you still have a few minutes left and you just make it a one-possession game. Coming away with nothing again when you're so close, when you're in scoring range, is just devastating.
You think about it, if the defender didn't fall or have to, fell down when he got the interception, he may have been unimpeded to the end zone. And we're talking about something totally different right now.
3 minutes, 30 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. I formation, one receiver, and this is going to be another run, I guess. It is, as Logan Lee gets a little bit of an opening, gets 2 yards on the play, maybe the last play before the 2-minute warning, as the Washington Trident will be forced to start calling some timeouts here pretty soon.
Well, this is what you pay those running backs for. These are the moments. You know what I mean? You need to use that clock up. And you want to run it. If you can get first downs, that's what you really want. You don't want Washington to get the ball back. And you've got the trio of running backs to let you do it.
So they snap the ball again before the 2-minute warning. 5 seconds left here on the play clock. They will be forced to as Kimball gets the toss play. Kimball trying to get to the first down. That's not. Actually, there's still 2 minutes and 36 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. So maybe with that one, they can take it to the 2-minute warning. Punt, good stop by the defense.
Excuse me, almost. Yeah, maybe they sometimes, they get a little trigger happy and kick that punt off a little before the 2-minute warning, and not great at clock management in this league, but that's right. They should run this down to the 2-minute.
2 seconds difference between play clock and game clock to get to the 2-minute warning.
Nice.
And we will get to the 2-minute warning. So good clock management here for Sin City. 14-5, Sin City and Washington on a defensive slugfest. As you're watching the Simulation Football League action here on the Virtual Network this week on PFN. SFL Week 5 is on tonight and Monday. And the UFL's final 3 weeks of the regular season continues Tuesday and Friday. Another network gives you more football. The SFL lives on through the Virtual Football Network. As this return will go to the 40, past the 40, just to the 41-yard line, Stephen. And Washington has to score now.
Oh, yeah. Needed to score 3 quarters ago. I mean, they need it bad. They really need it bad, and then you've got to have some luck too with the onside. So, they've got to do. Here's the thing: we're asking them to do this one thing they haven't been able to do all game, and they need to do it now. Not only with less than 2 minutes left on the clock, using their 3 timeouts, they got to do it against a really good Sin City defense. Been playing well tonight.
Utah to throw. Utah deep. The pass is caught by Phil Cos. Goes out of bounds after a healthy gain. Stops the clock. 1:47 left here in regulation.
And everything's got to go your way, and passes need to sneak by the defense just like that. And that's what they're going to need. They're going to need a handful of great plays or one big play by one of these offensive playmakers out here to really push beyond what we've seen so far tonight.
5 receivers, including Mahada, lined up to the left side, right by the left tackle. It's a 4-by-1 set for Washington. Rolling to the right. Utah throws deep. The pass caught. Mahada to the 22-yard line. Timeout, Washington.
Yeah, it's going to end up Washington's offense. It'll just be one name on the stat sheet, and it'll say Mahada. This guy's been absolutely clutch all night. But look, some of the names we haven't called out tonight: King Alexander, Sutherland. Right, we called Cooper a couple of times. Kaufman, we haven't called enough. One of these guys can make a huge play right here.
Utah to throw, goes outside. The pass is caught by Cooper, unable to get out of bounds. That will force Washington to call their second timeout. Only a 5-yard gain. It's a good stop right there by Sin City. They're trying to protect that those boundaries, Steven, and just make the tackles in bounds.
Well, they're in the red zone here, an opportunity. Remember, the clock is not just to get you in the end zone. You're going to need clock if you win that onside kick to get into field goal range. So you need to be watching the clock beyond just this possible touchdown.
Utah throws deep. The pass incomplete. Up the ricochet. Almost gets the hands, finds the hands of Terrell Cooper.
Yeah.
Steven, 3rd down and 4.
That would have been beautiful if Cooper were able to get that. He was in position to maybe try and get it. It looked like it hit the ground far too early for him to dive for it, but dangerous pass too.
Third down and 4. This is not fourth down territory thing, Steven. I mean, if you get stopped
yeah.
here, I think you kick the field goal and you have to kick the onside anyway.
You're going to need it. Yeah, you're going to need it regardless.
Utah dropping back to throw deep. The pass is incomplete. Almost caught by Kaufman, but a good hit provided. I think that was Kanye Rockefeller, the free safety. 4th and 4. And I think you have to bring in the field goal unit.
I agree. I mean, as much as it pains me to say that as an offensive coordinator, I think you're absolutely right. You got to, and just hope that luck is on your side. Hey, this ain't guaranteed, Cromwell.
No, it's not. James Stroll kicks it. This one in between the uprights and goes 14-8. So only one possession game. Even the running game hasn't worked too well. I think it's going to change a little bit on Monday. And Mike St. Clean return for SFL this week to recap Week 5 action before the Houston Headhunters and the Albuquerque Adams renew their South Division rivalry on this week's Monday Night Spectacular. The SFL lives on the Virtual Football Network, 2 of the strongest running teams. And here we go with the onside kick. It is fielded cleanly by Sin City, and they will just have to kneel the ball down 3 times. And I think that's all she wrote, Steven.
Yeah, and that's Hubbard Kimbrell able to come away with that ball, take a heck of a hit to hold on to it. But he seals this game. And look, you're just one unlucky bounce from Washington having a chance to win this ball game, which is crazy to think based on what we've seen all game. But, man, kudos go out to a lot of these players tonight. What a great game that we've got. And, look, it's a divisional battle. We didn't think these two teams were going to be, outscoring each other by a huge amount of points. We both thought it was going to be a defensive slugfest, and it absolutely was. And man, for me, coming out of this game, you got to have a lot of love for what Sin City did tonight. Showed a lot of balance, showed a stiff commitment to the running game, and these tight ends. Whew, these tight ends played so good tonight.
It's been awesome all night. Let's send it over to SFL HQ for a game break up. What you got?
Thank you, Ramos. This game was teetering on the brink of a snoozer, 20-3 Vancouver. But watch this. Chris Lee spins away from 3 different defenders and scores a 77-yard touchdown. It's not over in Vancouver. 20-10 late in the third. Back to you.
Thank you, Ken. We're back here in Washington as the Sin City Samurai are just milking down the rest of this clock. Another kneel down by Scar Patterson, and that's going to be enough to take the clock all the way down to zeros. And Steven, a weird game. I mean, we saw a safety, we saw a missed field goal, a couple of great punts inside the 2-yard line, some incredible interceptions, Talon Steele and Asami Mahata going off at the tight end position. Who was your player of the game?
Oh yeah, it's for as much as we saw these tight ends go off, I think I'm giving it to Scar Patterson. Coming into this game, sacked 10 times, 6 interceptions. I think he showed a lot of poise in that first half. Had a tremendous. I think he used his weapons a little bit better than the other side did. But so that would be probably my pick. If I'm going to do player of the game, though, I mean, good night. It's hard. I kind of want to give it to a guy on the losing team. I want to kind of give it to Mahata, and that might be my pick there. But congratulations to Sin City coming away with your first win. You guys look like you're on the upswing, and there's a lot of positive things you can take from this. And I think if you're Washington, I think you got maybe more questions and answers than you had coming into this game. They obviously lost on the road to 2 quality teams. But coming back home because a team that didn't have a win, I think Washington was hoping this would be a get-right game for them. And I think it just maybe made things more confusing.
Oh, I'm telling you, Steven, if you look at the scoreboard or the score buzz, you may think this is a baseball game. Sin City 7-7-0-0 in Detroit and 0-3-2-3. It's like baseball in here, and it was a great game. It was a defensive game. And both teams, showed a lot of, especially defensively, showed a lot of what they're made of. For Stephen Molinax, Phil Koss, and Dwayne Shin, pushing the buttons, I was Ramos Lynn. Thank you very much, and y'all have a great night. Keep enjoying SFL action throughout the rest of the weekend and tonight, tomorrow night. See y'all.